You won't believe this, but I've come across a hidden Amazon book niche that has almost zero competition. And I don't mean low competition, I mean literally hardly anyone is publishing in it right now. Now here's the thing, at first glance, this niche looks complicated, the kind of book that would take weeks to create, but the truth is there's a simple way to build it without starting from scratch. And once you see how, you'll understand why this opportunity is wide open. So in this video, I'm going to break down what makes this niche so enticing, why almost nobody is talking about it, and the exact process I would use to take advantage of it while it's still wide open. Now, if this is your first time here, my name is Jeff, and this channel is all about becoming self-sufficient when it comes to making money online. So if this sounds like you, feel free to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. With that being said, let's get right to it. Now, this hidden Amazon book niche that has literally almost zero competition is actually this end-of-life planner. Now you're gonna see total results 3,723, and you're gonna think this is not low competition, this is not zero competition, but stick with me and I'm gonna show you exactly why this end-of-life planner is quite literally zero competition. Now, if we take a quick look on Amazon and see the types of books that are selling here, we can see a whole bunch of end-of-life planners that are not really KDP books. I mean, you get kind of to the halfway point of the page and you get into this one, which is a KDP book and has a really good bestsellers rank at 24,000. You have another one right here, a bestseller ranking at 17,200. And then you have this one right here ranked at 27,000. So a handful of books selling pretty well here. But what I noticed was right here under customers frequently viewed, I see 3 books that are KDP books that all have something very similar going on. And they're all going for a hilarious or a funny theme on their covers. For example, this one says gone, but still telling you what to do, hilarious end-of-life planner. This one says this is how you sort my mess, end-of-life planner. And this one is I'm dead, now what? So it's obvious these types of themes actually work really well with a type of book that is very serious and actually not very funny. So why not get a little bit of laughter with the front covers? Now, obviously, let's go back up here. Now, typically, I like to look for search results at about 1,000 or less because it's going to tell me that this specific search term for this niche is not going to be too competitive, which means that there's going to be a decent chance at getting ranked on the first page here of Amazon. Now, another thing that I look for is a niche score from Titan's Quick View right here. That's a score of at least 50. This one says 76. And when I click here, Titans Pro Analysis, we can see there's a 6 out of 9 on the demand score. And the opportunity is at the highest score, a 9 out of 9. So definitely a lot of potential here for this niche. And obviously, one of the things that I look for are obviously books that are selling well on the first page. And we did see 3 of those books. So I went ahead and made a search if there was a search term that people were actually searching for a funny end-of-life planner. And I actually found one right here, end-of-life planner funny. As we can see, this is an actual search term that people are searching on Amazon. And that's a great sign. And when I looked into this niche, I see total results 336, very, very low. And in KDP terms, this is virtually no competition. And couple that with the books that I saw here on the first page, that a majority of these KDP books are all selling very, very well. We have this book right here ranked at 257,000. The book right next to it, Just in Case, 184,000. This one right here, Sorry, It's Your Problem Now, is ranked at 8,686 with the bestseller badge. This one right here, same book, Gone, still telling you what to do, 27,000. Gone, but still telling you what to do. Same cover, but different design, ranked at 24,000. So these two are actually mimicking each other, which is a good sign to see, which means that you could actually create a cover just like these two saying the same thing, and you could potentially rank pretty well because look at both these books, 27,000, 24,000, pretty much the same cover, but different design. And here's even another one right here, similar design, different color, 111,000. 15,000 and even more books. Now, what I look for these books are at least 3 books that rank at 300,000 or below. And we're seeing much more than that. This book, Sorry, It's Your Problem Now, 31,931. And a bestseller book right here, I'm Dead, Now What, ranked at 15,000. Even more books that are selling very well all throughout the first page, all the way to the end of the first page. We still see books here, 300,000, 300,000. Now, when we look at the niche score, we see a 67, so that's very good. Titans Pro Analysis says demand is at a 5 and the opportunity is at the highest score of 9 out of 9. So definitely a lot of potential here. Virtually zero competition, but very, very high demand, as we can see with the bestsellers ranks for virtually all of the books that we looked at. Now, if we take a look at this book, this one's titled I'm Dead, Now What? My Final Wishes, End of Life Planner. This one has the #1 bestseller. And if we look up here, it's ranked #1 in Right to Die Family and Health Law, #3 in Living Wills, #54 in Grief and Bereavement. And if we take a look at the 30-day sales, anywhere from 432 to 648 sales per month. Now, taking a look more at the book, we can see the contents right here. So just looking at this, it seems like this is a pretty complicated book. I mean, look at all these sections, these templates, these pages that are all different from the next. And usually when you're creating a KDP book, you want to do the least amount of work for the most amount of royalties. But sometimes this is the type of book that you want, because the more complicated the book is, the harder it is to copy. And the harder it is to copy, the longer it is to sell. As you can see right here, this is the all-time sales ranking. When it was first published, you see ups and downs here, where places where it doesn't sell, and then it'll sell a little bit here. But then somewhere along the line, it just kind of flatlined right here and just started selling really, really well. And whether or not this started using Amazon KDP ads or some type of marketing, I don't really know. But all I know is that this book has been selling really, really well for the last couple months, almost a year. Now, if we go back up here, you're going to notice there is no sample feature. That's why it's very important to create A+ content where you can show off a lot of your book. You can show off the cover. You can put more description about your book. You can put the interiors here of your book. As we can see, here's the table of contents, and then some of the pages of the interior, which gives the customer a glance at what they're buying. And obviously the module down here where you can add more of your books to really showcase that to your customer, cross-sell your books, and really boost the sales of your other books. And this A+ content is actually really important to create and implement into your books. If you haven't watched my video on A+ content, I'll leave a marker up right now. Go ahead and watch that. It's really important that you implement A+ content into all of your books. Now, if we go back up here and take a look at the 30-day sales once again, we're going to take that 648 and plug it into the calculator right here. We're going to multiply that by the number that we get here from KDP's royalty calculator and printing costs. And I already put in all of the information. It's an 8.5 by 11 inch book, 137 pages, priced at $9.99. When I submit that, we're looking at the Amazon.com marketplace and an estimated royalty of $2.67 every time this book sells. That is the net royalties that goes to the publisher. Now, if we take the calculator and multiply the 648 sales per month times $2.67 estimated royalties per book, we're going to get over $1,700 per month in estimated royalties. Now let's check out another #1 bestseller in this niche. This one is titled Sorry, It's Your Problem Now Because I'm Dead. So this is same thing, a funny end of life planner, or at least the cover is funny. And bestsellers rank 8,686, #1 in elder family law, #3 in estate planning laws for wills, and #9 in death. And if we look over here, 30-day sales, much better at 672 to over 1,000 book sales per month. Although I notice here, this book is priced lower at $7.99, which is going to play a big part. And I'm going to show you why. But if we look through here, same kind of thing, lots of different types of templates here, different sections for the customers, personal records, data documents, insurance information, my will information, financial, property, end of life care plan, wishes, letters, apologies, a lot of sections here. But as you notice, there is no sample portion right here. And that's a big problem. That's why if you go down here, well, before we go down there, look at this same kind of deal. When it first published, wasn't selling extremely well, but then somewhere along the line, it just flatlined. So whether it's using KDP ads or some type of marketing, not really sure, but we can see that it sells year round, pretty much at a flat line here. Very dependable book when it comes to royalties once this book starts to sell. Well, once again, let's go down here. And very good that this publisher created A+ content, even very basic things like just the cover and the interior, so that the customer can see a little bit of what's inside of what they're going to buy, because without this, a lot of customers are not going to buy your book. So we see some of the table of contents, important documents, kind of how they design the interiors. So that's really good for us if we're trying to replicate this type of success. Now, if we go ahead and take the 30-day sales of 1,008, put that in the calculator, multiply that by the number from KDP's royalty calculator and printing costs, we're going to see 119 pages, $7.99. And this is going to make a big difference because on the Amazon.com marketplace, we can see estimated royalties, not even $1 at 97 cents. It gets really slashed when you price your books below $9.99. So if we go ahead and plug this into the calculator, 0.97 equals almost $1,000 per month in estimated royalties for this book. So at this point, you might be thinking, okay, this niche looks profitable, but creating these kind of books from scratch must be complicated. And that's exactly what I thought at first too, but here's the truth. It's not nearly as difficult as it looks. In fact, there's a really straightforward way to create these books without having to design every single page by hand. And once you see the process, you'll realize how doable this really is, even if you've never created a book before. So let me show you step by step how I take what looks like a complicated project and break it down into something that's simple, fast, and repeatable. Now, what you want to do is go to Creative Fabrica, and if you don't have a subscription yet, you're going to want to get one to be able to do what I'm going to show you today. So I'm going to leave the link to Creative Fabrica down below, so go ahead and check that out. But I made a search for End of Life Planner and I filtered it by KDP Interiors as well as Canva. And that's very important because what I'm looking for is specifically a Canva editable template. And as you can see, there are a couple ones here showing up where it says editable Canva template. We have this one right here. You don't want to go after these templates right here that are already fully custom that you can't edit easily on Canva, because the key is to actually make modifications. So for example, I went with this one, End of Life Planner Bundle Canva KDP. And if we scroll through the previews, we can see there's a bunch of templates here, pretty much everything that I need to actually create this book. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is download this. It's going to give me a link to open this up in Canva, which once you open up the folder, you're going to come up with all of these files. But the one that we want to go after is this Canva link right here. Once we go ahead and click that, here's the link. Go ahead and copy and paste this into your browser, and then you can go ahead and view the template in Canva. So here's the first page, and then we have personal information, and then personal record, another personal information, places here for photos, end of life information, bank account and credit card, and just a lot of templates here. Now, what you want to do is go ahead and modify this page right here. What I like to do is just a very simple design. I'm going to go ahead and remove this, and the text box, I'm just going to go ahead and make it a white, and then change the font. That's one of the easiest things that you can do to make it a little bit more custom, a little bit more original. And so I'm going to ungroup this. Let's put this here, and I'm just going to put this right there, End of Life Planner, put it in the middle. Now, what you want to do with these pages is to make modifications. And like I said, one of the easiest way to make modifications is to go ahead and change the fonts and find a font here that you like. So for example, I'm going to use the League Spartan, and it's just going to change that font up right there. Now, one of the other ways to modify this interior is just to rearrange some of these sections, or instead of align, you can go ahead and make boxes for them. So if I ungroup this, take this out, I can go ahead and just grab this. Let's duplicate this. I can put it right here, shorten it up, and then color it a very light gray. And if, let's say, I wanted to copy that, I'm going to ungroup all of this. So you could do something like this. You could even put a border around this if you want, a very slight border, just like that. You could also do corner rounding, maybe of a 10. That totally modifies this and changes it up. And if this is the style that you're going for, you want to go ahead and apply this kind of style with the next page. So this one, once again, change all of the fonts to the font that you're using. Go ahead and center that. And then go ahead and delete all of these and do the exact same thing. Grab these and you can go ahead and put this here. And you can delete this element if you don't like it. And you can kind of put this in the middle. And you can go ahead and spread this out if you want. I'm going to grab the first one there. I'm going to grab the bottom one here. Let's put it down here. Position and then tidy up. And just keep doing this with all of these pages. Once again, go ahead, change the font to the font that you're using. And you're going to have to fix these boxes because obviously got smushed, so you're gonna have to go ahead and fix this up, but you get the point here. Now what you can do is you can go ahead and copy all of these boxes if you want to kind of put that corner rounding. Just highlight all of these boxes and you can put a corner rounding right here, make it really easy. And something as simple as that changes up this interior, and you can always take away certain sections and replace them with things that you think would do better. You can consult ChatGPT to see if there's any other personal information that should be included in this type of book that would be much better for customers compared to the information that you already see right here. And once you've done all of that, you go ahead and decide which of these templates you want in your end-of-life planner. And you can go ahead and duplicate pages that you think need duplication, such as these ones with the personal information. You can easily duplicate the page. You see it shows up right there. If you need more important documents or important contacts, go ahead and duplicate that. And you just keep duplicating the pages you think are important. And by the end of all of this, you should have around 100 plus pages. And you wouldn't have had to actually create these pages from scratch. So this is a shortcut way to actually create this end-of-life planner without actually having to do this all from scratch. All you have to do is modify these interiors and put your own touch, make them look a little bit different, design them a little bit slightly different than what you get from Creative Fabrica, and you'll be good to go. So there it is, a hidden Amazon KDP niche that most publishers haven't even touched yet, but the numbers are already showing real sales potential. If you're serious about building an income stream with KDP, this is your chance to step into a space with almost no competition and establish yourself before it gets crowded. Now, if you want the full process of turning niche ideas like this one into books that sell, your next step is to grab my KDP Royalty Roadmap. It's free and it walks you through the entire process step by step. I'll leave the link down below. If this video helped you see what's possible, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss my next video. With that being said, thanks for watching. Bye for now.